is stung by its own medicine. Dixon slips outside right, breaks the daylight. Still going. Not quite yet out of miracle. End zone, shot full. Touchdown. Florida State rules the BCS. Welcome you to Auburn, Alabama, where it's A-Day and you're watching the SEC on ESPN. As the Auburn Tigers hosting their annual spring game, a chance to see how the SEC champions have developed in recent weeks and find out where they could be headed come this fall. So we say good afternoon, everybody. Joe Tessitore alongside Todd Blackledge. Todd, a year ago, 83,000 showed up to this A-Day spring game to welcome a new coach, but a team that was winless in the SEC, a team that would go on to play for the national championship. Now they go from no expectations a year ago to trying to live up to expectations.
So a little different situation this year, but I'm still amazed when I think of the job that Gus Malzahn and his staff did with Auburn last year. Remember, in 2012, this team didn't win an SEC game, and they came very close to winning it all a year later. And I think he did two things. He won the locker room by loving up on the kids, fixed that problem, and for the second time in 4 years, he caught lightning in a bottle with a junior college quarterback.
That is Nick Marshall, who returns. Senior now is Nick Marshall, 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. What's the next step for him, Todd?
Develop as a passer, because most teams now are going to try to make Auburn beat them throwing the football. He has arm talent, but he really has had to work this spring on his footwork, his balance, and his timing. The play-action passing that goes along with this running game can be devastating.
Tom Blugendale is our field-level analyst today, standing by with the leader of that great turnaround.
Well, Coach, you're about to complete your second spring here at the helm at Auburn, but under different circumstances this time around. Everybody has priorities for spring football. What have yours been this time around?
Yeah, we've really developed some depth and just get better at our core, our base offense and defense. I feel pretty good about where we're at, and I'm looking forward to watching our guys play in front of our crowd today.
Well, as you wrap up here with the A-Day game, a great crowd on hand, what do you want to come away with this day as having accomplished on this day?
Well, we want to get better, first of all, and give us a chance to evaluate our young guys in front of our crowd for the first time. That's always good, and just to play good, hard-nosed Auburn football in front of our crowd.
All right, Coach, stay healthy.
All right, thanks. All right.
Second year as the head coach here at Auburn for Gus Malzahn, and there is Nick Marshall, his 6'1" senior quarterback, enters his second year as the starter. Last year at this time, Todd, he wasn't even here. He arrived in summertime, just before fall camp, and brought him all the way to the national title.
And he was brilliant down the stretch, the second half of the season, particularly running the zone read aspect of this offense, the best running team in college football. The passing game is what he's been working on most in the spring. I think today when we see Nick Marshall on the field, we won't see him running the zone read. We're going to see him throwing the football and developing that Auburn pass game today.
Schedule that Marshall and that Auburn offense will be going after come this fall. Of course, always tough playing in the SEC West. Grab South Carolina from the East, and then a tricky non-conference game, a Thursday nighter on the road at K-State.
Yeah, always a tough, first of all, a tough place to get to, tough place to play. Bill Snyder's teams are very physical in the way that they play, the style of game they play. That'll be an interesting game for this Auburn football team.
Of course, teams with revenge on the mind for their opponents. November 15th at Georgia, and then the Iron Bowl this year will be at Alabama, Tuscaloosa.
Gus Malzahn is going to be on the field, standing behind the action, and his biggest responsibility, not just watching his team, is to blow the whistle to prevent his quarterbacks who are wearing orange jerseys from being hit. It's live for everybody but the quarterbacks, and he's going to be the guy that ends the play with the whistle.
Heisman finalist Trey Mason off to test the NFL. So Cameron Curtis-Payne gets the start. Exactly what we thought we'd see is Nick Marshall airing it out early as he was looking for Ricardo Lewis. He of the Prayer at Jordan-Hare 73-yard reception for the win against Georgia.
Lewis has great speed. One of the things I think that will really help Nick Marshall in developing this pass game, I think they have better talent and depth at the wide receiver position, significantly better than they had a year ago.
Second down and 10. This time they do get it to Lewis. Makes one move, and then it's out to the 36-yard line where he is tackled by Robinson for Reese. 6-yard reception for Lewis. Up-tempo pace. Lashley, the offensive coordinator, being put forth here early. Artis Payne comes in motion now on 3rd and 4, and they go with the inside screen as Sammy Coates. And Coates wiggles his way for a first down to the 46-yard line.
Well, first 3 plays, 3 passes, 1 deep shot on first down. The next 2 plays were little screens. Get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly and into a playmaker's hands. Sammy Coates, we both noticed, Tom, also how much bigger and stronger Sammy Coates looks than he did a year ago.
Walked into our meetings yesterday. I thought it was an outside linebacker coming in to say hello. What a physical presence he is out on the perimeter. Here's Marshall now. Down the near side, and that was just out of bounds as he was looking at Marcus Davis.
Now, part of that is Nick Marshall throwing it too close to the sideline, but on both of those incompletions down the sideline, the receivers need to help too. They need to press their man more to the inside. That's easy coverage for a cornerback. If the guy continues to widen out to go for the football, you can just force him right out of bounds and force the incompletion.
It was T.J. Davis on the coverage. Been hoping for big things out of him, dealing with hamstring. Cameras Artis Payne straight up the middle, crossing midfield, Tom.
Well, yeah, and that's the first run we've seen from Auburn, and that's by design. Rhett Lashley, the offensive coordinator, Gus Malzahn, they want to throw the football. They need Nick Marshall to become more proficient. As Todd referenced in our open, everybody's going to load up the box now. You're going to expect Auburn to try and run for 290, 300. But now it's going to be about throwing the football to move the ball in critical times during a game, and that's where Nick Marshall's got to make his greatest improvement. Expect the ball in the air a lot.
Kenny Flowers that time on the tackle of Cameron Artis Payne. It'll be 4th down and less than 1.
Yeah, pretty good job by this number 2 defense in white. Getting that stop on 3rd down and relatively short and forcing the 4th down play.
Artis Payne in the backfield with Marshall. Finds that opening on the left side. It'll be a first down to the 38-yard line, brought down by Brandon King.
Again, the thing that Nick Marshall became so good at last year was the zone read part of the offense. This was a give all the way. Again, he's not live running it, but he has a great feel for that aspect of their offense. Of course, he and Trey Mason, last year that mesh point was so good, it was very difficult to tell which one of them had the football, and that's what they need to develop now with this new set of running backs lined up behind Nick Marshall.
Artis Payne was the star of last year's A-Day at 117 yards rushing, another 47 receiving. He gets the first crack at replacing Trey Mason. Segment 6 now for Marshall. And Payne's trying to get around to the edge, and he's tripped up at the 31-yard line by McEnroe Alexander, the sophomore star linebacker, that hybrid position in Ellis Johnson's defense.
One of the things that Ellis Johnson told us yesterday that their defense had the most trouble with last year was adjusting to formation, adjusting to changes in the offensive look, and they got bad fits, and they got out of position. They gave up too many big chunk running plays. We've seen already, even with this backup unit, a little bit more fundamentally sound in the run game.
Here's a completion on 3rd down to Marcus Davis that'll move the chains.
You mentioned the wide receiver depth. You've got guys that played last year, Marcus Davis, Sammy Coates, Ricardo Lewis, Quan Bray. You've got Duke Williams, the most heralded junior college receiver, in camp now as well.
And Artis Payne continues with good work here on this opening drive to the 14-yard line, tackled by Cameron Toney.
They've really been pleased with Cameron Artis Payne. They feel like he has really stepped up in the spring. Again, Trey Mason was...
And here he is now coming off the edge and taking it right into the end zone. So Cameron Artis Payne with the opening score of this spring game as the blue team which represents the first team, the starters, goes out front. Carlson for the PAT. As Cody Parkey, place kicker from last year's SEC championship team, has graduated. Good look of Cameron Artis-Payne as Auburn's A-Day is underway here at Jordan-Hare.